Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Sunita Dol, working as an assistant professor in Computer Science and Engineering Department of Walchand Institute of Technology, Solapur. The topic covered from the course Digital Technique is VHDL Basics. So VHDL Basics, following topics will be covered: Introduction of VHDL, then Entity Declaration, Package Declaration and the Architecture Declaration in VHDL. So now consider the introduction part. So VHDL is a hardware description language used for modeling digital system made up of interconnection of components. It is used to describe the hardware from abstract to the concrete level. It has become the universal communication medium of design and for specifying the input and output from various design tools such as simulation tool. Now VHDL, this is acronym for VHSIC Hardware Description Language, and VHSIC is acronym for Very High Speed Integrated Circuit. When digital circuit is to be designed, it is required to be described in VHDL. So for this, we must specify an entity and architecture at the top level and also specify an entity and the architecture for each of the components that are part of the circuit. Each entity declaration includes a list of interface signals and their types that can be used to connect it to other modules. The behavior of the circuit and each of its components is described in the architecture section. So the behavior may be described in structural form, the set of concurrent statement or the set of sequential statement. This figure illustrates the basic concept of VHDL. It has one entity declaration and the architecture. So in general, a digital circuit may be composed of number of components. Every component can be described by its VHDL, that is, each component has its own entity declaration and architecture. The architecture of digital circuit can make use of the entities of its subcomponent. So this makes the hierarchical system design possible. Figure shows the top level architecture A making use of the entities B, C and D. The entity B is used 2 times. In general, the top level architecture can make multi-use of lower level entities. So an entity can also be used by other architecture. So entities C and D are used by the architecture E also. The architecture details of the lower level entities are not visible to the higher level entities. Now consider the VHDL rules and the characteristics. VHDL is a strongly typed language. It has some predefined types. Each signal, variable and constant must match with the allowed type in the program. There is also set of operators AND, OR, NAND, NOR, XOR, XNOR, NOT, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. There are number of the reserved keywords which have specific meaning and these cannot be used for the identifier or as any other name. It is a free-form language. Carriage return, blank lines and additional blank spaces may be used between the words for the clarity without any ill effects. Long line can be continued over more than one line. The next, a line starting with the 2 adjacent hyphen is treated as comment. So this is the example of comment. Concluding semicolon is syntactically required. Its absence will cause error message during the compilation of the code. Time is a predefined type. So time units available with it are femtosecond, picosecond, microsecond, millisecond, second, minute and hour. It allows the array to be indexed in either direction, that is ascending or the descending. It is a data flow language, that is it is a programming paradigm whose execution model can be represented by the directed graph representing the flow of data between the nodes, similarly to the data flow diagram. A basic identifier in the VHDL is composed of sequence of one or more alphanumeric character and the underscore character. The first character must be an alphabet and last character must not be an underscore. Two consecutive underscore are not allowed. VHDL is case insensitive, that is, upper and lower case letters are considered identical. Boolean operators AND, OR, NAND, NOR, XOR, NOR, NOT are the built-in VHDL. A system library, IEEE library, is provided which store the package for the standard logic gates and other commonly used gates. User library can also be created. Here is the reflection spot. Please take some time to think and write your response to the following question. In this case, try to memorize the full form of VHDL, two main sections of VHDL, entity and the architecture.